Welcome to the End Zone. Let's move the chains and talk the Washington football team. The Washington football team has totally blown me away in free agency. And also, if you don't know already, I've posted videos in the past about the Washington football team and why I loved the direction that they were going with Ron Rivera and how much adversity their team has had to go through. I think that not only are they building a good program with good, solid players to build around, they're drafting really well, especially along the defense with Chase Young, Montez Sweat. You can go down the line, but free agency has been a dream for the Washington football team, filling holes that they probably didn't expect to be filled. So we could start talking about the free agency, but I just love, and I'm super enthusiastic. I'm not really a fan of the Washington football team necessarily, but I love their future in the NFC East. So let's talk about some free agency signings, go down the list. All starts to me with Curtis Samuel, the wide receiver. Super fast, can play running back, can do it all. Just an elite player in my eyes. I loved him in college with Ohio State, and he really bloomed last year with the Carolina Panthers. I saw some really great things from him. So Curtis Samuel is going to be fun. Also, Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, they have some of that Ohio State chemistry. It's going to be fun to see them two on the same field once again. You also got center Tyler Larson, most likely there for depth. And by the way, a lot of these players have connections to Ron Rivera. They're bringing back offensive tackle David Sharp, running back Lamar Miller, cornerback Danny Johnson. They also bring in cornerback William Jackson. He's solid to replace Ronald Darby, who is leaving. How about linebacker David Mayo, another veteran here for depth for that linebacker position. They're going to definitely use him. Played for Ron Rivera in Carolina. And then quarterback that everyone's talking about, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Huge get for the Washington football team, because I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick was probably the Bears' number one guy outside of Russell Wilson, and the Bears had to get Andy Dalton. I actually made a video talking about the Bears' quarterback situation. Now, more than likely, they would have to settle for either Dalton or Ryan Fitzpatrick. The Washington football team could have very easily had to get Andy Dalton. I think that getting Ryan Fitzmagic here is a lot better. And also you got Taylor Heineke at quarterback, who definitely showed that he can probably be an NFL starter, maybe. We need more games from him, but there was a promising game in the playoffs versus the Buccaneers from Taylor Heineke. That was really fun to watch. And the offense is really what I want to highlight here, because we know what the Washington football team's defense can do. Top 10 in points allowed. They get to the quarterback. They're vicious. They're great against the run. But the offense, for Washington football team last year needs a little bit more of some juice. So I think that they're going to draft along the offense. But getting Curtis Samuel in, pairing him with Terry McLaurin, J.D. McKissick blossomed last season, looked really great. Logan Thomas at tight end, the former Virginia Tech Hokies quarterback, really playing well in the late stretch. You also got Kelvin Harmon at wide receiver and a bunch of other wide receivers. I really think that this wide receiving core is going to be pretty underrated going into the season. You got Cam Sims, Isaiah Wright, Steven Sims, Jeff Badgett, former XFL guy. So there are a lot of players who I really like along this offense and who I think can really help the Washington football team in the NFC East, going up against a bunch of NFC East teams that are really struggling. But, you got the Dallas Cowboys. I think that they're going to be the number one threat to the Washington football team because Dak coming back. Hopefully he's healthy so we can see the Cowboys at full strength. But then again, this Washington football team definitely building, definitely a team to watch out for heading into the draft wherever they draft. Maybe they could still draft a quarterback. I don't know about that. There's a lot of key parts. Linebacker could be a position that they draft in the first round, depending on who falls to them. We still have to see how free agency all pans out for the rest of the league. Then we can really start to form our really good draft opinions. But again, I'm really high on the Washington football team. I think that they can be a great team heading into next year and heading into the future for the NFC East. I'd love to know your opinions down below on Ron Rivera, the Washington football team. Thanks for watching the End Zone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can move the chains.